Well, thank you, Dan, and welcome to all of you who are visitors to our nation's capital. This is a wonderful city. I hope you've had a chance to take in what it has to offer and to feel the sense of our democracy and our shared history over all these years. I want to just say to Dr. Fried and Dr. Resnick, you inspired me listening to your vision, to your hopes, to your investments. And I was wanting to also just amplify what Dan said. As we face a pretty tough economic situation in our country, one of the ways in which we will, in fact, the real way we will grow our way out of what we face is through innovation. A mature economy, Dan, as you know, only grows through innovation. And this whole area of medical services and products and insight, that's the key to our economic future, as well as the other opportunities that were discussed tonight. And I have to tell you, as somebody who's now on the right side of 60, and by that I mean I'm 62, and for all those of you in the 50s think that's what I was talking about, I'm in awe of the gifts that I've been able to, if you will, harvest given our medical technologies. I'm, of course, very grateful to my parents. Some of this is genetics, as you know. And most days I do believe that 60 is the new 40. Now, some days I think 60 is the new 80, but we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that later. But let's move to this wonderful individual who you've already gotten a sense of his makeup and his character. And I wanted to just tell you how proud I am to have the opportunity and the honor to tell you a little bit about a really special individual. He's a fellow Coloradan, Jeremy Bloom. And as Dan pointed out, he's really known as a Superman in our state. He's really done it all. As Dan pointed out, he's a world champion skier, a two-time Winter Olympian, and he played both collegiate and professional football. I want to share one story with you as a big fan of the University of Colorado. In his football debut for the University of Colorado in 2002, literally on his first touch in a game against an in-state rival, Colorado State University. I guess as a center now I have to root for both of them, Jeremy, so you have to forgive me. But literally his first touch, 75 yards, touchdown on a punt that came to him in front of a sellout crowd in Mile High Stadium. That's what I call a good first impression. We could talk at great length about his accomplishments in the world of athletics, but we honor him for a different reason tonight. And I think that's why Jeremy's such an amazing individual. The older we get, the more we reflect upon our youth and the events that we experienced when we were young. And oftentimes we focus on things that we didn't do, that we didn't experience. And then we find it easy to say, well, I'm too old for that. Now, I am reminded of that old saying that the only problem with youth is it's wasted on the young, but I'll leave that alone as well. But that's seriously where Jeremy and the Wish of a Lifetime have just come in so powerfully. We've heard about his grandmother. Jeremy, I wish I'd known her. I know your mom is here. I know you're going to speak about your mom later. But what a tremendous mission to honor people who've given most in our society, seniors. And because of you and your foundation, seniors are literally able to make their dreams come true and finally achieve a once-in-a-lifetime experience that they always wanted to accomplish. I'm tempted to offer my services to somebody who might want to be a senator, but I'm not sure there's anybody in the country that's even, whether young or old, that would take me up on it. But seriously, if that fits the portfolio you've drawn up, I'd love to have somebody with wisdom and patience and knowledge and appreciation for American history perhaps follow around with me or travel around with me for a day or two and see what the life of a senator is like. So take that as an offer, something we'd love to do. I want to share an example of what Wish of a Lifetime does. Last year in the fall, there were a group of senior Americans who came to D.C. It was their first trip to our nation's capital. They were members of the Greatest Generation. They visited the World War II Memorial on the Mall. If you haven't been there, please take a few moments to experience it. And these men, and in some cases women, I believe, were so moved that they shared their experiences with each other, with us on my team, and with anybody who was there. They never in their wildest dreams imagined coming to Washington, having a chance to reconnect with World War II through the memorial. And they were able to make this trip because of Wish of a Lifetime. And I was thinking, Dr. Fried, as you spoke, that what Jeremy and his team are doing is they're touching and creating joy, which then leads to meaning, which makes life precious, regardless of how old you are. And that's a gift that's truly priceless. It's just one of many events and activities that Jeremy and his foundation have put together. So this is a wonderful young man who has the wisdom and the patience of the people that he's chosen to honor and to acknowledge. So would you all please join me presenting this year's Indispensable Person Award to Jeremy Bloom.
Well, thank you, Dan. Thank you, Senator Udall. Can I employ both of you to introduce me every time? I'm humbled to be here today and deeply honored. My grandfather grew up on the tough streets of northern Philadelphia in the 1920s, and his father abandoned his family in the 1930s during the Great Depression. And my grandfather worked 3 jobs as a 12-year-old to help his family scrape and claw and to get through the Great Depression. And after high school, my grandfather joined the United States Air Force. And he flew over 30 missions over France and Germany as a gunner on the B-17s and the B-24 bombers. And he turns 90 next month. And he's one of my biggest heroes and inspiration. And you got to see a little bit of my grandmother as well. But in my 30 years, some of my most favorite memories in my life were shared with my grandfather. My mom, who's here tonight, raised her children to eat quite healthy. Not a lot of sugar in the household or sweets. But my grandfather was the total opposite. And when I was 3 years old, my grandfather and I would go skiing up in Keystone, Colorado together. He was my first ski instructor. And I'd get off the chairlift, and he would pack his pockets full of these little miniature-sized candy bars. And he would throw them down the mountain. And I would ski down and get them, and that's how I learned how to ski. The oldest generation in our country today endured tremendous sacrifice to make all of our lives easier. From the waters in Pearl Harbor to the white sandy beaches in Normandy, to the rolling hills of Okinawa, to pulling us through the Great Depression as a country and a society, to paving the roads that we drive on today, to giving us all life and shaping the world that we all live in today. Their sacrifices should not go unnoticed. And so in the spring of 2008, I started Wish of a Lifetime to say thank you in the best way that I knew how in helping them live out their dreams. And I felt like, just because you're 80 or 90 or 100, we love working with the centenarians. There's always one thing in your life, that you wish to accomplish, or you wish somebody that you wish to see. And sometimes it's so simple. We've granted close to now 500 wishes, and one of my favorite wishes is one of the simplest wishes that we've ever granted. And it was in our first year of our organization, and it was by a man named Bill Tiller. He's 86 years old. And he wrote into our organization, and he said, literally, my wish of a lifetime is for a rug. And he continued to write below the lines, and he said, I have diabetes, and when I wake up in the morning, I have linoleum floor, and it's quite cold, and it stings my feet. And my life would just be a little bit better if I could have a rug next to it. And, Bill was a lower income senior, and Not too many of his family members would visit and stuff, and so he felt a little isolated. And we granted his wish, and one of my most favorite pictures that we've ever taken as an organization is of Bill getting this little rug, this $10 rug, and this huge, huge smile on his face. And it wasn't just the rug that made a profound difference in Bill's life. It was that somebody cared. And I think that's the message. And I think that's the work that the Alliance is doing, and that each and every one of you on the policy side and the pharmaceutical companies that are here, the healthcare organizations here, are all coming together with this collective goal to care more and to advance health. And I think that's really special. And I'm honored to be here. This award I will cherish, to follow in the footsteps of some really incredible people who have won this award in the 25-year history of the Alliance, including the director of the NIH. I mean, come on. The commissioner of the FDA, a Nobel laureate, and numerous leading scientists. I will not only cherish it, but I accept the 2012 Indispensable Person of the Year award with great responsibility, and hope to make each and every one of you proud with the continuing work that we do at Wish of a Lifetime. I'd like to thank my mom, who's here tonight. For teaching me that gold medals don't define the success of somebody, but rather that how they treat other people, and that they're respectful and kind and try to do what they can to make the world a better place. Thank you for teaching me that at a very young age. Your leadership at Wish of a Lifetime as a friend, advisor, and a leader has inspired me in a lot of different ways, and I really appreciate the effort you give every single day. I'd also like to thank my beautiful girlfriend, Jessica, who is a very talented actress, and she flew all the way across the country to be here with me tonight for about 12 hours. She'll be on set tomorrow, and I appreciate you coming so much. And finally, I'd like to thank each and every single one of you for not only being here tonight, but for the work that you do. You really do inspire me, and I hope to be like some of you someday, and I'm working hard to get there. And I think that if we can continue making more dreams come true and enriching the lives of the greatest generation, I'm hopeful that someday we'll get there. So thank you so much. I'm deeply honored and privileged to be here. Thank you.
One wish, the senator.
Jeez, okay. I'm not worthy.